Hello beauties, it's Brittany. Welcome to my channel today. I really appreciate you spending some time with me. I watch a lot of Rach Loves videos. Well, I watch a lot of YouTube, but she's one of my favorites to watch, and she does these fun videos called 5 First Impressions. She tries out 5 new products, wears it throughout the day, checks in at the end of the day, and I thought it'd be super fun to try. I have some new goodies here that were sent to me, some I picked up, just kind of a mix of random little bits and bobs, which is what she generally does, and I love it because it's just like a random assortment of reviews, and it's so cool to see how they wear and see somebody's first thoughts on it. But before I get into any makeup application today, will you do me a little favor and click that subscribe button down below, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let me know in the comments what is a product that you used for the first time, hated it, gave it a second chance, and ended up falling in love. I really want to hear from you guys what product that might be, and let's go ahead and get into some makeup application. So this isn't a product I purchased, but it is a product I'm very curious to try. I have a little sample here. This is the NARS Radiant Long Wear Foundation. I ended up grabbing the shade number 3. It is a little dark, but the other lighter two seem like they would just wash me out even more, which is definitely not something I'm looking for since I'm already, member of the Ghost Club. So I picked up 3. We're gonna see how it works out. I may have to bronze up other areas of my body, but I'm fine with that. I'm not really fine with that, but that's just the story of my life as a pale gal. This foundation is a whopping $49. There is a wide shade range. However, I feel like a lot of them are very, very, very pink or very, very, very yellow or orange, and there's not like a neutral shade. And that's kind of where I like to fall. My face is very pink, but my body isn't as pink, so I kind of like to go more neutral. Unfortunately, I didn't really see a lot of that in this range. That's just my thoughts as somebody of my own skin tone. So let's go ahead and apply this. I am going to prime my skin first with the Spackle Tinted Under Makeup Primer from Laura Geller. This is Champagne. I am very dry. My face is like the Sahara Desert, so I always love to use like a hydrating primer before I go in with any foundation. So I'm gonna do this, and then we're gonna apply the foundation. I'm gonna split my face in half, and I'm gonna do 1/2 with a brush and 1/2 with a beauty blender. I generally prefer a beauty blender because I'm so dry, but that might not be the case with this foundation. So let's get started. Okay, I'm gonna start with a little bit because the mistake I made with my mixing all my foundations video was I applied way too much makeup. So let's just see how it looks with a few little dots. Alright, with one light layer all over 1/2 of my face, I am not super impressed. It is giving me decent coverage. Would I say that right off the bat right now it looks full? No, I can see like red. Obviously I have very red cheeks. It's just my natural coloring. I can see a lot of that like right here. It doesn't feel heavy on my skin, which is nice. I did do a very light layer. Clearly this shade is a little yellow for me, but I didn't want to pull too pink, so that's why I chose this one. I'm kind of seeing it like right here already. That generally happens to me. That's where I'm kind of most dry. So one layer all over. The shade is not looking terrible. It is kind of lightening up as it's on my skin, which is generally not something that happens. Normally it gets a little bit darker, but I'm not mad at that because it's not a great shade for me. What do you guys think? First application, one light layer, what side do we prefer? I prefer the Beauty Blender side, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna apply another layer with the Beauty Blender all over. Before I go in with any powder products onto my skin, I want to try this Urban Decay Holographic Disco Stick, and this is the only shade that they have, I believe. So it is a cream stick product that is supposed to be a holographic highlight. Now, I've heard not great things about this. I think the complaints I've been hearing is that it's not actually holographic. I don't know who defines these things. Maybe we can ask Simply Nailogical. I mean, it looks really iridescent. I don't know if we could call it holographic, but whatever the case may be, I'm going to put this on my face. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Beauty Blender. I'm going to put a little bit of the product onto the Beauty Blender and then I'm going to pat it onto my skin, because normally if you just stripe a product on that's like a highlighter, it can be a disaster. So I'm going with this method. It's quite pretty. I mean, I guess I will try striping it, because that might be what a lot of you, just like your first initial reaction is to do at home. So it doesn't feel great. It feels kind of gritty. And this pimple, right, do you see this? This is like got a mind of its own. I like that. I thought it was going to be like super glittery. I definitely do like this application better. This looks like a clear stripe on my face, which is why I don't like to just take the product and stripe it on my face. The kind of method of either putting it on your finger or putting it on a beauty blender and then patting it onto the skin will definitely give you a more soft focus finish instead of like a very stark line on your face. Now the question is it worth $26? I think the new Hourglass highlighters run in like the $40 range, which just seems so crazy for a highlighter. I'm sure I've spent that in the past, but it just seems like an astronomical price for a highlighter. So I do feel like $26 for a prestige highlighter is not out of the realm of possibilities or out of the realm of what one should actually pay for a stick highlighter, but I don't feel like it's knocking my socks off or giving me a different effect than any other cream highlight that I could use on my face, if that makes sense. My eyeshadow definitely got away from me. I'm the kind of makeup person that wherever my heart puts the brush, that's what goes on my eyeball. So this is what I ended up with today. Much more colorful than I initially anticipated. So the next first impression I have are some eyeliners that were sent to me by L'Oreal. This is their L'Oreal Infallible Longwear Pencils. Now, L'Oreal has had eyeliners for a very long time, and they're constantly reformulating them, coming out with new colors. So these are $7.99. I have quite a few colors to play around with here. I think I'm going to play around with these three. First I was going to do a blue because I'm wearing a blue shirt, but then purple ended up on my eye, so I think I'm going to do a purple. Purple is the name of that shade that I'm going to use. And then I really love nude eyeliners lately, falling back in love with them, so I'm going to play with that one. And then I do want to see how opaque this black is and how it wears, so I am going to play with just a standard black. I've already curled my eyelashes, so I'm going to tightline and put some of this black on my upper lashes. I think I'm going to kind of wing things out, and we're just going to play and see what ends up happening. So I just went to clean the pencil off on my towel because it had some shimmer on it and it completely broke off. So it is very, very creamy, so I'm gonna have to sharpen it. I'm so sad. Well, I guess this gives us a nice idea of how it actually sharpens. Of course, it doesn't sharpen as too fine of a tip as it initially was, but it's still pretty nice. And I'm not gonna be able to get this wing nearly as nice as this one because now the tip is gone. So while I was a little bit irritated with this eye, I do think that they look like sisters, not twins, but that's fine. It's how I look at my eyeliner, like my brows. So it is a very creamy black eyeliner. It's not as opaque as I would like it to be, especially when there's shadow on the lid. It's very black when swatched. However, it doesn't seem to be like as opaque once there's eyeshadow on the lid, which is generally how I would be applying eyeliner. You might be living your life differently. You go for it, girl. So I do also love the creamy factor for the upper waterline. However, I do see that there is some transfer already. So a couple little things to keep in mind. I am going to play around with some of this purple on the upper lashes as well and just kind of see what we can do. As one might expect with a color like this, it is changing a lot with whatever shadow or liner I have underneath. So it's not opaque enough to be true to color if there's something underneath it. So I did put it on top of the black. I would suggest if you want this color to appear true to color, use a very light shadow on the lid, use like a base, and then go in with this because it is changing a lot to the colors that are underneath it. I'm going to take the nude and put this on the waterline. I like this. I love nudes on my waterline. I feel like it opens my eyes up. I have very tiny eyes, and this is just a very, very true nude. There's no like pink to it. Some liners that are nude will have like a pink iridescence to them. This is straight matte nude. Something I also find with nude liners like this is that if I have any black liner on there, it does pick up a lot of the black and then the pencil itself becomes black. So just keep that in mind if you want to put this on the waterline, maybe clean it up a little bit first before you go in with it. I did not do that. So let me swatch the other shades for you. We have Cobalt Blue, which is a very rich cobalt blue. Clearly that's the name. Then we have gray. I love gray liners. I'm definitely a fan. So just a softer version of black. If you're not a huge fan of the opacity or the depth of black, then that would be a good one. Or there is a brown option, which looks very, very dark. This is not going to be your soft brown. This is definitely a very rich chocolatey brown. So definitely will be softer than the black, but I don't think a whole lot softer. Also, these are very difficult to remove once I've swatched them. I noticed this the other day when I swatched them. So very good news in terms of longevity, I think. However, not great because now I have swatches all over my hand that will not come off. So the next first impression I have is the Voluminous Superstar X Fiber Mascara. Now this is a primer and a mascara little set here. I do love mascara primers. I use them very often. My favorite is the Lancome Seals Booster. The white L'Oreal one is kind of like mediocre. Definitely doesn't give it as long wearing properties as the Lancome, but it is a lot cheaper and it still gives you like the length and volume. I'm excited that this one is black because it's kind of strange that lash primers are white. Just an odd little thing. So I'm going to take the number 1 and we're going to prime my lashes and then go right in with the mascara because generally that's how you're supposed to use primers, is put the mascara on top while the primer is still kind of wet. So this is one lash complete and the other lash is still kind of naked. I do like it. Is it my favorite lashes I've ever had? No. Do I feel like it's actually false lash-like? Not really. I feel like if anything, this is a very natural lash look. When I opened up the side too, you can kind of see it's very fibrous. There's a lot of fibers on the wand, and so that's really giving me the fiber feel of this mascara. So I'm going to apply the other coat on my other eye. I think I'm going to go a little heavier with that, see how it kind of builds up, and then we'll have to see how it wears throughout the day. So this is always my better lash. For some reason, my left eye is just my better eye. It's my larger eye. It's my better lashes. I've probably slept on my right side of my face way too much in my life. So that is definitely my favorite, and this one looks fantastic. But I currently do have something in my eye, so I'm going to have to fix this situation. I did like the fact that the primer is black. I do feel like the fibers did elongate my lashes. I don't really love the actual tube. I feel like it's awkward to apply because the wand is too long and heavy, but let's go ahead and see how it wears and move on to our next first impression. So my next one is the Urban Decay Disco Queen Holographic Highlighting Powder, and I thought it would be fun to try this powder on top of the cream stick. You can clearly see what the cream stick looks like on my face. Definitely has faded since I've put some powder on my skin, which is definitely what I notice with cream highlighters. I do also like to put a powder one on top. If you're somebody who likes a more dulled down effect and likes cream highlighters, this is a nice soft focus effect. It's not too harsh. It's very gentle. I like to look like my highlighter is about to blind you. So I'm going to go in with this guy. I'm a little nervous to be using a purple one, which is I think what encouraged me to put some purple on the eye so that it's not like totally off base. I'm going to go for it. I'm just going in. I'm going to tap off my brush a little bit and we're just going to see what this looks like. Oh, okay. You're here to party with this highlighter. That's beautiful. Let me take a closer look. Okay, it's got quite a lot of glitter to it. I don't love that. I feel like that's going to look like crap midday. But yeah, pet? Right now, I freaking love this. I love that it's so different. I don't think I have a lot of like purple ones besides like an Anastasia palette that I have. So I definitely think it's fun. The packaging is beautiful. Urban Decay really knows how to do packaging and product. I am concerned about the glitter, but we shall see. Initial thoughts. Foundation looks very heavy on my skin. The shade, you tell me, how does it look on camera? I feel like in person, it's looking pretty good. It is leaning more yellow, which was I was expecting. Does it match me like dead on? Not 100%, but it is very hard for me to find that. So I do like that I did pick 3 because I don't want to look totally washed out. So I'm happy with that. I do feel like it's looking heavy. It feels heavier on my skin. And I'm not really seeing like the radiance from this NARS Radiant Longwear foundation. Even after first application, like I didn't feel radiant. So not sure where they're getting that from, but however, we will have to see how it wears throughout the day. I'm also in the process of doing like a peel system. So this part of my face might start to look worse than it even would normally. So I'm going to keep that in mind and make sure that I communicate that to you guys as well. The holographic disco stick from Urban Decay. I like this surprisingly better than the powder, and I'll talk about why in a moment, but I felt like this was actual highlighting opaque color. And I say opaque, obviously it's a highlighter, so it's supposed to be more sheer. I do like the application with the Beauty Blender, taking it off on the Beauty Blender and then patting it onto the skin. I did like the way that it was looking on my skin. Now the eyeliners from L'Oreal, $7.99, really good price. They applied really well. I kind of talked about how some of them could be a little more opaque in color, but it is a very inexpensive eyeliner option. I did feel like they went on super nice and creamy. We will have to see about the wear time. As far as the mascara goes, I do like the black primer, and then you have the fibers. I don't feel like it's giving me the best lashes of my life, but I do feel like they look good. It doesn't make them look bad in any way, which is definitely step number one. I don't like the tube itself. It's awkward to apply, definitely too large to kind of control perfectly for me. The Urban Decay Disco Queen highlighter. Did I say this is $29? I don't love this. I love the way that it looks like from afar. I'm like a Mona Lisa right now. I'm like, don't get too close. It looks very, very beautiful, very blinding from afar. However, when I bring the mirror up to my face, it looks like glitter on my skin. So definitely not loving that. Feel like it's going to look like crap midday, but we shall see. I've had this foundation on for about 7.5, 8 hours. I'm going over to a friend's house tonight. I want to stuff my face with tacos, watch some Grey's Anatomy. I don't want to have makeup on while I do those things. I asked my boyfriend Alex, who is not a beauty guru, but has been asked many, many times if he likes things on my face. So he's pretty good at telling me when he likes a product or doesn't like a product and why he doesn't like it. So he said that my foundation, he said it looks like powdery in my T-zone, which to him I think that means it looks like cakey. Totally like a reasonable way to explain it. I feel like my acne spot over here, I've kind of felt the makeup on it all day. And then the highlighter, he said he really likes. He did say that it does look glittery. He didn't seem to mind that. I don't particularly love that in my highlighting products. On Instagram stories, it's looking amazing. But I really don't think that you can make a Disco Queen highlighter, be it powder or a stick, without it being like boom, ba ba bang kind of colors, and that's definitely what this is. So keep that in mind. And then the mascara, I like it. It hasn't really flaked, hasn't smudged, hasn't smeared, none of that jazz. It's remained pretty black throughout the day. The liner has definitely faded in opacity, but hasn't like smeared at all. So that's definitely a perk. So all in all, this was super fun to try out all of these products. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know products you want to see specific reviews on and any other videos you want to see. You guys loved the Clean With Me video, so if you want to see more videos like that, let me know. I want to do what you want to see and what I want to do. You know, like a good mix of all of it. I hope you have a beautiful day. Do not leave without clicking that subscribe button down below. Also giving this video a thumbs up and leaving me your comments below. And I will see you very, very soon in my next video. Bye, guys.